this is a shakedown. Order up that beat just like it's takeout. Show me you got soul inside those new shoes, and you can rock and roll with an attitude. So good, so fresh, just the way you like it. Just the way you like it. So good, so fresh. You're the new MC, you got the remix. Keep it on repeat, just let the beat kick. Everywhere you go, you bring the roof down. Everybody knows you got your own sound. So good, so fresh, just the way you like it. Just the way you like it. So good, so fresh. Yeah, you like it, the way you like it. Oh, yeah, you like it, the way you like it now. Yeah, you like it, the way you like it. Oh, so good, so fresh. Get up on your feet. Show me you got soul. Just the way you like it. So good, so fresh. Just the way you like it. The way you like it. So good, so fresh. Get up on your feet, this is a shakedown.
going till my speakers calm below. I'll keep going till my speakers calm below. I'll keep going till my speakers calm below. I'll keep going till my I'll keep going till my I'll keep go till my speakers calm. I'll keep going till my speakers calm below. I'll keep going till my speakers calm below.
On this road to riches, I just pray I make it home. Navigation glitching, had to get there on my own. I made it this far, I can't turn around. Just know my mama proud, moving at the speed of sound. Trying to strike it rich, so I'ma take that risk, baby. That risk. Trying to strike it rich. I'ma take that. Bands, baby, who don't want the bands? It ain't about who want it, it's about who gon' take that chance, yeah. It's about who gon' period if some shit done change your plans. Yeah, yeah, know what I'm saying? If you tryna strike it rich, so I'ma take that risk, baby. That risk. Tryna strike it rich.
Here with the locals, doing alright.
Bands, baby, who don't want them bands? It ain't about who want it, it's about who gon' take that chance, yeah. It's about who gon' period if some shit done change your plans. Yeah, yeah, know what I'm saying? If you tryna strike it rich.
Hoping that we live long enough to say we fly. Crushing all the walls, leaving what is wrong behind. 'Cause all we got is each other. Let's burn what we can, lightning into the fire. Let's burn what we can under the moonlight.
And now Tapson nipping at the heels, trying to get behind the flash. It's so good for Santara. 3 kills from Tapson. He goes back in for a 4K, and Tapson finds them all.
But with a USP, 10 seconds. Oh my god, they have to kill him. No! Truly don't believe it!
Where he is right now is Sicko. He's been sick so far in this tournament once again. He's gone sicko mode with a double kill.
Device looking to come up clutch here. And Mac is the first, a second as well. Just the third is all onto Hadji now. Slow clear. Device isn't anticipating this. Just in time. NIP given a gift. He's Perfecto all on his shoulders. And just too many men. He's the first cleanly has. Nexus is next victim, and oh dear. Perfecto stepping well above the expectations. Amanek loud about this, stampeding in. And the spray is there. 1 versus 3.
That's what he needs. That's what he needs from the players around him there. Perfecto stepping up in a big way.
Nowhere to hide. Tomorrow we will. Tomorrow we will rise.
enters, does catch 1, 2, and 3, counts up for us. Bubsky partnered up nicely with Magisk, and the frags come easy again. Dastardly Dane in pit. Maybe there's more to be said. Oh, and with the USP is their favorite weapon, it seems. Simple. I've seen this before. A 1v2 as he plants with low HP. I don't think Zipex is going to allow it. Bullets are in. He's found himself a weapon. He knows where they both are. Eagle knocks the head off of the shoulders of Zipex. Mantles up.
Oh my God!
Clutch. Simple.
Perfecto and Simple is still alive, but the trades should just come in, right? It is Simple. Oh, getting one. He doesn't know where the second player is. Vitality are doing a good job of wasting time, and yet still, Simple comes in. Both the kills found.
Simple, 1v3 in the bomb ticking. This is his environment, this is his dream, looking for another chance. He just doesn't miss. Amanek through the doors, closing the gap is Nexa, dancing with him, and it just looks so good.
Here they come straight towards the B side.
Bubsky's not going to get checked, and he's going to get 2 before Simple connects. Simple rock hard place. Great shot, just Magis. Just the tip of his head. He spotted out. Simple's doing it all. Some great shots to start him off. Oh, he's such a nerd. Simple with 4, looking for an ace clutch. And Simple collects. Magnificent play from the world's best.
Nice! Sorry, Валерчик, я пошел мимо.
Simple to break the record. No one has found 4 aces at a tournament like this, and here it comes, a record breaker from Simple. He takes all 5.
Bubsky, he's not going to recover that second kill. Rez will trade, but Grim still stands in with the pistol. Oh my God! He's willing to risk it all on this deep angle, and it's given that first kill over. So now someone else has got to make up for this. Magisk and Dupree might just be those men as they come in with a few kills apiece. Twist takes matters into his own hands, and suddenly FaZe Clan might be on their way to their first and only T-side round.
The road to the top is a riddle. What will be my destiny? Money and fame are awaiting, but not enough is raining on me. Maybe I should give it all up. How much more can I take? Out here singing to the heavens. When I gonna get my break? I can run this town. Oh. I can run this town. This is a shakedown. Order up that beat just like it's takeout. Show me you got soul inside those new shoes, and you can rock and roll with an attitude.
ESL presents ESL Challenger League in partnership with Intel, Acer Predator, DHL, Kidia, and 1xBet.
And welcome back, everybody, to the ESL Challenger League as we roll on with our day of coverage. We move to the South American division. To think that this division only has a handful more games to go before its first cup is over. We'll be here riding all that hype train for this evening's proceedings. My name is Eternal J. I'm joined by Dwayne, as per usual, for this matchup as BESTIA will take on Flamengo in our highlight game of the day. How you doing, Josh?
Yeah, the highlight game, because it seems like it's the only game. What is going on right now in South America? We have had 14 forfeits across the upper bracket and the lower bracket, and I would say for an underdog team, you probably look at that and say, you beauty, right? This is finally a chance to go deep in one of these South American tournaments, because a lot of the big dogs, they're not here competing.
With names like Imperial, 2Game, Red Canids, all seemingly forfeiting their way out or getting forfeited upon. Dusty Roots out of the competition as well. I mean, you just take a look at how the bracket's going to shape up, Blake, and you'd be surprised at how the lower bracket is shaped in. I mean, look, you take a look at the likes of Flamengo, for example, beating Imperial, but that was a forfeit win over on their side of things. So even in terms of today's matchup, you could argue there are some teams that are in the competition right now that probably should not be.
I mean, even for Flamengo, their opening game, they forfeited map number 1 for a win. They were able to lose that series 2-0 the Bounty Hunters and then get back-to-back forfeits versus Cold Zero's Odic and then tries Imperial. Set themselves up nicely with that 2-0 versus 2 game yesterday, but they'll be looking at today and wanting to finally put sort of the nail in the coffin of getting a legitimate result under their belt, because I think from the BESTIA organization, they've been getting a taste of what it's like recently to play the very best, to play those top teams in South America, and it's now about trying to see if they can convert that into at least trying to taste what land is going to look like.
Well, certainly some question marks about the long-term longevity, I guess you could say, of these two lineups in terms of the competition itself, because I have a feeling like whoever comes out on top of this matchup might not be making it through the next match what they're outlined up when it comes to how the lower bracket will play out. But look, for Flamengo, at least for their part of things, they've got a Kidia player to watch out on the server today. VSM is the guy I think you wanted to highlight today, Dwight.
Indeed. VSM is averaging a 1.46 rating in the last month on Flamengo. He's a big threat, okay? This is a guy that's played at a top level in the past. People will remember his time on MIBR. They'll remember how much of a sick element he was on Oplano, playing with Cold Zero on 00 Nation, being a part of Fluxo and then moving over here to Flamengo. Now, the Flamengo side haven't had the best amount of success, I would say, at the top end of the scene, and when it comes to creating those deeper runs when they're facing the next level of competition, but VSM is going to be dangerous, and if BESTIA don't deal with him accordingly in this best of 3, they're going to lose out to Flamengo today.
I think my main concern with the fact of Flamengo of who they're coming in as like a strength, right, is yeah, sure, you've got a great player on your side of the board, but what are the others, Dwayne? We still haven't got confirmation as who their permanent 4th and 5th players are going to be, and we've talked in the past when commentating Flamengo matches that right now their main concern is sorting out that permanent roster situation. They need to get on top of that Acer SAP, because whilst VSM is a great player individually, I feel like that individual talent might go to waste on a team that doesn't have a full lineup.
Well, do they? I mean, they've won 11 out of their past 14 best of 3s on HLTV. I mean, Del Boni's been playing with the side for 4 months now. Pro Show played with them in, what, CCT Series 2, Series 3. He played in the CAC Open Qualifier, and he's been playing here with ECL. To me, I don't really care if Del Boni gets an official signing or whether Pro Show officially joins the team. If this team keeps winning, then I want to keep seeing these guys perform.
The same winning streak can't be said for BESTIA. Lost last 3 best-of-3s in a row. So some of these map stats might look a little bit low by comparison to the rest of the map pool itself. And obviously for BESTIA, they're kind of in a bit of a poor situation of their own right, Dwayne, because we were all talking about them when they qualified for the major and they weren't able to make it to the major because of visa issues and the situation about that, whatever you want to say about it. For us, when we were looking at the aftermath and what BESTIA had to do following that whole debacle was try and make a run at the Tier 1 again. Try and see what you can do in terms of building yourself back into the Tier 1 environment via the mechanisms of VRS in the South America division. I don't think they've done that particularly well, Greg. They're starting to really slip down the rankings, and their placements in some of these cups and some of these tournaments haven't exactly been the most stellar on the BESTIA side.
Yeah, not really. I mean, since that MRQ run, they've been pretty average. I don't think that they have what it takes to beat the top teams in South America. They've had some deep tournament runs, but they're not facing the very best. Now, Train is always going to be the insta-ban out from BESTIA for both of these teams, I should add. Mirage is really strong for the likes of Flamengo, so that's why it's being banned out there. So it should be a Dust 2 or a Nuke pick to come through from Flamengo. I look at both of these sides, Jay, and say that BESTIA are very difficult to read in a map veto process. And I'll just read off. They've played 21 best-of-3s on HLTV in the last 3 months, and they pick Inferno, Nuke, Mirage, Ancient, and Dust 2. What's going on? Like, why are they picking so many different maps? They are almost impossible to predict on where they're going to go. Oftentimes, they go into opponents' weaknesses rather than their own strengths. And maybe that's another reason why they're quite inconsistent. If you don't have like a #1 map in the pool, how are you meant to take down a 9Z or an Imperial or the Fluxo? I don't think it's possible. I think they need to start changing the way that they look at their map pool right now.
Well, look, BESTIA picked into Ancient, which is a map that they're not very good on the Flamengo side for, so you have that much in your back pockets, and a map that they also won in their previous head-to-head back in June. So they're going into some sort of standardized territory in terms of their strengths of their own right. Inferno being the final map in the best-of-3, and that is a bit more of the opposite affair, I guess you could say, where Flamengo actually have the better win rate by comparison towards the BESTIA side.
And BESTIA picked Inferno. I'm just looking at like their most recent series. They picked it against Fluxo in a quarterfinal recently. They picked it against Sharks in another quarterfinal. They've picked it against 2Game in a round of 16 match. So we get a few Inferno picks across the last couple of tournaments that are being played from them. So that I think they'll be happy to float that as a decider, even if maybe the results don't say accordingly that it's one of their better maps in the pool. I do look at Flamengo overall though, and I say, look, they are dangerous in Tier 2 of South America. Their issue is that they struggle against almost everyone that's stronger than them in the region. And I would even say that BESTIA are a stronger team than what they are. Now, they're not on the same level as a 9Z or a Fluxo, so there's upset room. It's just that it's not going to be what I would say is the toughest challenge that they could potentially face in this bracket.
Yeah, and that's kind of the reason why I'm having BESTIA down as the favourites in this series, and just for spoiler alert, obviously, my prediction for how this series is going to go in my particular eyes. I mean, look, BESTIA is still, even if they haven't quite reached the same heights as they were aiming for, and the same heights that they might have been owed at a certain point throughout the course of their run in CS, and yes, the rankings have started to tip in favour of Flamengo by comparison in VRS as of this morning especially. I still look at BESTIA as being a superior squad. I still look at them as being the team that have the odds-on favoritism in this kind of a best-of-3.
Now, someone that we talk about a little bit in Tier 2 in terms of longevity of an in-game leader is BTN, someone that's been a part of Nexus for almost 10 years, and he's 36 years old and still going. I'm looking at Noxy, the in-game leader of BESTIA at 32, and his individual form has been absolutely dreadful. The IGL is averaging a .84 rating in the last 3 months, and in the series that they played yesterday, Jay, against 9Z, he averaged 8 kills a map. I think the days of low-fragging in-game leaders are completely gone, and that's one of my biggest worried signs from BESTIA in almost any of the competitions is just how low the fragging really is from Noxy and co.
And that might be part of the reason why they're not getting back into that higher level. I mean, certainly you can say the same thing for Flamengo because Kutzmaretz is the IGL on their side, and he's also been the lowest fragger, lowest rated player of the lot of the players, unfortunately. But that probably is reasons why we're not looking at these guys, as these two teams, as being in the higher levels of the South American space in the Tier 2 environment, and certainly not going to get a chance at Tier 1 if you're the likes of BESTIA, and certainly not for the likes of Flamengo either. It's why I say that even no matter how this series goes down, I could see both of these teams losing out to Fluxo in the next round.
Yeah, definitely so. They might be able to put up a challenge, but there's no way they're beating Fluxo in the lower bracket game tomorrow. For BESTIA, though, look, they have taken a map off of Imperial, Fluxo, and 9Z in their last 3 best of 3, so I think that's going to be confidence for the Argentinians in just the sense that we've at least held weight. Yeah, we've not threatened the series as to wins, but we've at least taken maps and we've at least gone double digits on occasion. So I think we know that they can compete at a decent level. I mean, I look at that 9Z series. I was watching them on Nuke yesterday in that upper bracket semi. They probably could have 2-0'd the series. I mean, Nuke was very competitive. They took Ancient quite easily. They just went on to Dust 2 as the decider and kind of got smoked out of the water. They got completely outclassed. So it could have been a different conversation if they win that game against 9Z and it ends up being them being dropped down into the lower bracket. We've got a little bit of history between both of these organizations in terms of the players. Kaysen and Delboni, they played together. They've got nearly 50 maps together on HLTV. They were teammates during late 2024 and early 2025. So that will be a little bit of a rivalry going into this lower bracket. But also, BESTIA's head-to-head record, right? 1 best of 1, 1 best of 3 last couple of months. They've got the 1-up. Surely that's going to be a little bit of a helping hand for them as an advantage.
Yeah, most certainly. Again, I am predicting BESTIA to win in this best of 3. The only real sort of like thing you can look at in positive for the Flamengo side is the fact you've got a different veto compared to last time. Although, also to say, Ancient is being played again from that previous veto, which again, BESTIA have beaten on Flamengo in the past and all. So there might be some unpredictability about how the specifics of the series should play out, but with the fact that you've got Ancient and Dust 2, which have been played against these two sides in recent form, both of which have been single-digit wins for the likes of BESTIA, you've got 2 maps in the pool in this veto process that does look to me like it should end up being towards the favour of the BESTIA camp.
Yeah, and just before this series started, Mischief, one of the number crunchers that we have on social media that always looks at VRS and predictions, he put out a tweet a couple of hours ago, Jay, basically predicting the Americas qualification to the Budapest Major. I think he did 150,000 simulations, and as of right now, BESTIA are 12. Now, top 10 is basically the cutoff, so it seems like BESTIA have about a 20% chance of making the major. That's quite high, I would say. The only teams above them is Odic, and then you start getting into the 9Z and the likes of NRG, Fluxo, M80, MIBR, and then of course you start getting up towards the tier 1 level. So if you are a BESTIA side, you're probably looking at almost every tournament running forward saying, not only do we need to maybe use something like ECL to get a pathway to Pro League, but we need to improve our VRS rank. All of these best of 3s are going to be so important to basically that challenge to make that run to the major.
And therefore, that puts a lot of emphasis on matches like this, where you want to try and hit the ground running, where you want to try and trump the likes of Flamengo and focus on the next round, which probably will be the more tougher of the tasks. And if you go even further beyond that, then it gets even more tougher if you are a BESTIA. Again, their goal should be to try and make it back to the major, to try and make it to some kind of big tier 1 event and try and establish yourself again with another opportunity, because you missed out last time due to shenanigans. You don't want to miss out again this time. And so take a look back at the results and start to wonder, well, what have we got in evidence to suggest that they can make a deep run? And well, in the overall perspective, you're seeing a couple of, first place in South America CCT, and then a second place in the first CCT of South America earlier on when the circuit had started. Then you've got those Thunderpick events, which, some of them not as amazing as the other ones. And the Pro League qualifier, that was out in stage 1, unfortunately. The most recent CCT, you've got 1 win, then 1 loss to Fluxo once again. So much like how Flamengo are taking on teams and losing out to the squads that are better than them, you can take the exact same situation for BESTIA and apply it in kind, because all those losses have come to the likes of the Fluxos, the Imperials, sometimes even to the likes of 2Game at times, the 9Zs at the same period. So going forward in this bracket, that doesn't speak to me like a very good thing for BESTIA.
And even if we look at the very next ECL tournament that we have, the second cup, mate, MIBR's already going to be there. Fluxo's going to be there as well. Sharks, Odic, some of those top teams in the region. If you're a BESTIA or a Flamengo, you want to try and go as deep here as possible to kind of avoid those teams in the very next one. I know for the BESTIA organization, they've got a LAN in about 4 weeks' time out in Rio de Janeiro. That's about 30,000 USD prize pool with 16 teams. So that will help out their VRS a little bit, but even still, all of these games are very important. You do need to take them 1 point at a time, especially when you're sort of outside of what I would say the top 50, 60 window of the world. When you're sort of down in the lower echelons, you need to get up there, and you need to be able to start advancing fairly quickly.
Certainly in terms of the grander scale of this Challenger League Cup, I don't have a lot of faith in BESTIA making it to one of those top positions, but I do take a look at their situation right now, the opponent that they're facing on right now, and I'd say that top 4 certainly seems possible to me. For me, Dwayne, I'm taking a look at maps 1 and 2, saying they're strong. I think the BESTIA beaten Flamengo in the past on those maps, so I think they can do it again. I'm going to go 2-0 to BESTIA.
I'm going to go 2-1 towards Flamengo. Anytime you've got best of 3s on record where it was sort of somewhat recent, at least in terms of officials, I mean, that best of 1, what was that, 11 days ago? I just have a little bit of a feeling that Flamengo, that they're going to have some fire underneath them. They're going to prove that those forfeit wins versus Odic and Imperial can actually be put into task. It can be done against better competition. They're going to be the weaker team moving into this series, but I just have a feeling they're going to be able to get a bit of an upset today.
Well, I will say that in terms of Dust 2, the last map that we saw from BESTIA on this was against that 9Z team you mentioned earlier. The loss that they probably should have ended up going to 2-0. That last map of Dust 2 was the blowout map in that best of 3. So potentially Flamengo are looking a punish pick of their own right into this series and try and get, well, not punish pick entirely, but to try and get one of those weaker maps in for BESTIA in terms of their recency, in terms of that recent result, and hopefully they've found something that they can exploit by comparison.
It tells you that the Dust 2 is a little bit inconsistent perhaps for the BESTIA side. I mean, when you look at it and you say, right, you've taken Imperial to almost all rounds of regulation and won, and then a week later you can't even hold weight in a half, let alone an entire map. I mean, they were just completely outclassed last night by that 9Z side. So I do look at BESTIA with their Dust 2. They were at least on a very good winning streak, but again, it's only against some of the weaker teams in the field. To be able to beat Imperial twice, though, in that winning streak, look, there is going to be something behind them for sure.
Yeah, there's something, again, I favour BESTIA in the overall perspective. I think that the composition of the teams is one of the key factors that might hold Flamengo back a bit more than anything else. Again, I want to see whether or not there's going to be any more shifting positions, because the fact of the matter is that even if they are getting the wins on the board, we don't know how long that could last for. We don't know what the permanence of this lineup is. We don't know what the permanence of those 4th and 5th players are going to be. So all we have to do is cross our fingers and hope that they don't decide to move on, that Delboni and Projo don't get better offers in other places, for instance, or that this team wants to try something completely different, which I do hope that they don't, because with them, Flamengo are a better team. But I don't think they're good enough to beat BESTIA today.
Hey, let's have a look at the in-game leaders' individual performance. Kutzmaret's averaging a .87 rating on Dust 2 in the last 3 months, and Luchov at a .89. I wonder if that sort of basement and the in-game leaders might make a difference of the overall picture of this first map of the series.
Well, BESTIA on the CT side to start things off. We've got the Julies in for Tomazin. Upgrade pistols on VSM with the P250 over on the Flamengo side. They're making their way quickly into the long house control. We've got one individual around the corner at short. 2, in fact, at the CT side. VSM is going to get overwhelmed. Noxy also trying to chime into the back of the bomb site. Is Goosh down a low HP. Cassin's going to get out of the way. The Glock firing from range cannot get that low HP player. Kutzmaret could get caught off on flank angles. Cassin getting a second kill on Prosho, as finally one pick is found by Kutzmaret, but doesn't go further than that. It's all him, all alone. 1v4. Needs the full-blown ace clutch. He's surrounded. He's dead. BESTIA take the pistol.
Just perfection on the timing out there with the flashbang towards short. You feel for the T-side individual, because there is nothing that you can do about that one. When you get caught and you're being swung, you can spray and pray, hope that you can get a couple of good connections, but you're overwhelmed quickly. BESTIA just started rotating players up so quickly towards that A bomb site. Good pressure against Flamengo to disallow the bomb plant, but an instant force buy here into round 2. So Prosho's going to get a scout out. Everybody else got upgraded pistols.
No bomb plant bonus for Flamengo. I take that fight to the BESTIA side early. May recognise that the best way to snuff these boys out is to get on their backs as soon as possible. And do go 1 for 1, at least in the short access, with VSM taking Cassin down. Did take Tanako the opening kill for the CT side, however, leaving the other 2 members of the short access in a low HP 4-on-4, nearly 4-on-3, with Delboni being taken to 18.
Well, Kutzmaretz doesn't have any further util, so he's not going to be able to smoke off the cross from long. They're going to have to basically dive their way out from the elbow, and he might come in late. Noxy trying to play around the elevator with the MP9, trying to see if he can just see anyone scaling on the edge of the smoke.
Timo's called VSM. Alboni down as well. Pro Show next up to task. He is dead. And the round is over for Flamengo. Bomb being dropped and all cuts Moret's caught off towards long access with 3 players to face him. Tom is credited with the kill. Simple stuff for the Argentines.
Yeah, the one credit that I can give the BESTIA organization is giving players a chance. Remember when they brought in Naz to the roster, even though it didn't work? You bring in someone that's sort of inexperienced at this level. Look at now the addition of Timo. This is a guy that has got just 90 maps played on HLTV, and 79 of them have been with the BESTIA organization. He came over from Velox, Argentina, so this is his real first professional lineup.
We added back in March. 5 months since that point, and I'm hoping to continue to impress if possible. 1-for-1 trades. BESTIA at least a little bit stunned on Luchov's part. I'm mostly looking at upgrade pistols around the stage scout and not much more than that, Flamengo. Well, you said scout and the bomb, and they still find the dome down on Timo. Alboni straight to the head of the man. A 3-on-3 has ensued. Flamengo, if they can get one more pick out of that, that'd be great. But Thomasin says no. Contrares that position.
Being quite active from BESTIA, and you might look at that and say, well, it's a bit risky to be this far forward and this advanced up against an anti-eco, but maybe it tells you the whole idea of how they want to construct themselves on the city side, that they want to make sure high press, never allow comfortability. Yes, it will mean that some rounds get expensive, but it also makes it very difficult to default on a T side. VSM is doing everything to force this fight out towards ramp, and while he forces the fight, he only gets the tag with the Deagle, doesn't quite get that kill. So, look dangerous for, I would say, a moment, but in the end, it's all right.
3-0 for BESTIA on the start. Flamengo will get to their rifle buys. It was an eco in the previous, minus that scout that cuts. They're going to have to sacrifice down to a Galil for. But you've got all automatic rifles across the board for the Flamengo side. And they avoided most of the money damage that they could do with the SMGs, and a couple of SMG kills did come in for BESTIA. So, AWP in for Cassin, M4s for everybody else. A little bit of reserve cash in their favour as well. What a nice nade that was for the top-end mid players. All 3 of them catching HEs to the face. Another HE from Noxy. Do a lot more to Pro Show. 1 point of health.
This is very difficult. AWP is holding against all the timing slightly off. Oh, Alboni has given himself an absolute gift, and well, you needed to get something elsewhere, didn't you? When you're taking that much util damage down from mid, you need to work a pick, you need to try and create space, and there is one small moment of opportunity that's been taken away now.
Just going to leave Tunnel's entrance entirely, put the AWP out towards mid to support the 2 players that are there at the moment. Timo going to walk forward completely dry and take down VSM. The VSM was caught a little bit napping there. Cassin does fall back in turn, however. Noxy gets Pro Shot. That was an easy enough pick. He's still got tagged to 45, so they're not getting away clean with these fights. BESTIA extended out towards mid a little bit more cleanly, and Noxy can get away with his kill, but Alboni cuts 2 very fast responses, and Luchov, all that remains here. 1 versus 2. Bomb's going to make his way in from tunnels and out to that B-bomb side, and that's the smart and safe call.
Excellent work from Alboni, because he just contacted out B. He just walked out, caught the window player, and Luchov, very difficult 1v2 with no util to work with at all.
I've been accounting for Alboni to be at the car. Dead in an instant to the hands of the AK. First on the board of Flamengo as they start things off on Dust 2.
Flamengo will be happy with that very first round, but maybe not happy with how much they're losing from the util usage out on the default. HEs were excellent there from BESTIA. And for Noxy, had a pretty good read on the round. Wanted to reaggress out from the doors, not just from him individually, but how Timo came in and how he followed up. Flamengo might be in for a first half where they have a lot of guns up, right? Rather than having a util being drawn and throwing your standard CT smoke from Xbox or your util from short over towards the A-bomb site. If there's so much counter-aggression, if the CTs are constantly working activity, retaking space, walking contacts, might be one of those games where Cuts Moretz realizes, slow it down, have guns up, and wait for the punishment, wait for the re-aggro.
It's a good way in for Flamengo at the moment. BESTIA. FAMAS is a limiting factor in their buyback. They've been completely infallible in terms of their economical state. Flamengo have done respectable damage. Now can they capitalise on that damage and turn it into a reset? They can do so right now. They'd bring the scoreline back to evens.
Seems as if they've got a read that it's going to be a mid-B split here. BESTIA boosted a player up towards spawn. Don't often see this position being held. Kassan just trying to see if he can spam away. Luchov will be at a spot if they can continue out from mid and sort of path their way up towards B.
Oh, walk forward of VSM is not being watched directly by the CT side players back around. Luchov considering it though. Smoke's about to clear. Man's going to be seen in VSM. It does go down. One pick out, but no one else seen towards mid. Counter util there for the CT side. Going to try and block him away from short. Pass bang in against Kassan. Going to keep him low. Did see Danico at the edge of that smoke. Getting a secondary kill now for BESTIA. A 5-on-3. We're down to just the Flamengo disadvantage. 3-man disadvantage now as Timo chimes in. Orpa yet to get spotted. Bomb carrier just tucked himself back at elbow. Just been seen by someone else though. Tagged to 23 HP now. Just bursting onto eventually the USP of Timo will pick up his second kill of the round. And ProShow's going to back off with the AWP. He's not winning this one.
Now we're still very early days in the new HLTV rating 3.0 to understand exactly what we're looking for, right? What shows us impact? What is just an overinflated number? We look at rating 3.0. The rating is just insane for VSM. 1.45 across 16 Dust 2 officials in the last 3 months. And he's 2-5 right now. Now, numbers only tell you so much of a picture, but when you've got a guy that is hitting as hard as he has recently, when he's been involved in sort of the deep tournament runs, getting them into the majority of playoffs, getting them into top fours, you expect in a big matchup like this that he's going to be able to outclass the likes of BESTIA. And right now, all of his lurks, all of his timings, he's being punished. He's getting nothing. He's getting a hero AK here in round 6.
BESTIA neutralizing a threat every single time. No one else really able to rise up around it. Especially with Deagles and Tech 9s being brought up. A Glock for ProShow is going harsh at Eco. Get to those weapons, the big greens, as soon as possible. And as assuming it is even possible. BESTIA will continue to put the hurt up when time calls. The hero AK will be the first man into a dry face and a completely covered position. BESTIA will have the crossfire on lock. Flamengo do think it's better to fall back and try a different angle of approach.
Yeah, Luchov's got full nades out on B, so he can block the upper tunnels, and look at the timing of that. Re-smoke goes down. For Flamengo, because of the time, you're going to have to go through this. You can't afford to cancel.
Timing was good for Cuts, but he couldn't stabilize the shot. Now the T's go pouring in, and actually they overwhelm them with a numbers game. Luchov struggles. Thomason only goes 1 for 1. 4 on the 3 now for Flamengo on the post plan here. And Loxy's desperately hunting for Cuts to reveal himself. His Deagle fires back from mid against Timo, does some damage. The kill does not come his way. Cuts finally getting a piece of his demise. Not quite able to go down just yet. Timo's not ready for VSM. They bait and switch the trap, and now it's down to 2 men for BESTIA. Flamengo going to get away with a steal round here.
Well, it's a very strange repos out there to window. Right in the position where you're blocking towards upper B, and there's a slight lurk out from the sort of mid doors towards the mid-B split. You'd almost expect the B-side anchor to play a really passive angle where you can use your range, maybe get out there to the back plat, out towards car. Instead, when you're on window, you're playing an off angle where you just can't retreat. You can't hide, you can't duck down, you can't wait for counter util to come from rotates. And, well, for the B players, I mean, Luchov gets nothing. Thomasin probably should have got 2. It just looked messy from the 2 of them. And VSM, well, that hero AK was put into the right hands, apparently.
Found excellent impact with it. The man that ultimately wins the round there for Flamengo. They're second of the board and still good to reset BESTIA. Can be done right here with the money state again being very limited. A loss bonus for the BESTIA side. Good flashbangs in against Cassin as they're going to quickly make their way out towards long. And not go past the long corner. The AWP of Cassin's going to back off almost entirely. Flashbang of support. Flamengo going to back off themselves.
And Flamengo in a position now where once you've held all of this mid territory or the long territory, you just leave a player posted out on sort of the pit lip, wait to see if there's any counter re-aggression, smoke down CT and just scale. And just keep it simple. You've got so much map control being taken away from the CT line. They've got all of short. They've got a player on the stairs out there from the upper and lower tunnels. And they're trying to block, aren't they? They're constantly putting these re-smokes down. They're trying to stall the T's for how quickly they can gain long to site access.
Molly's in the back of car. Timo gets caught while completely blinded. Thomasin tried to swing forward and get 2 kills with it. And with the support of Cassin can find VSM. Everything turns back to BESTIA in the blink of an eye. Now Luchov at low HP behind Xbox. Undetected by Cuts Moretz. He's fighting against Noxy up on shore, left with 4 points of health to spare. The AWP of Cassin will land on Pro Show, and Flamengo get locked out when BESTIA get their way.
You might look at the opening stage of that sequence and say, what's Timo doing? He's just trolling, right? He's going out in the open. He's trying to get out towards car. He's trying to do that to set up the rest of it. You've got Thomasin to swing on the CT contact. You've got the AWP that can advance the angle, trying to open it up, get the AWP to look down range, and then the flash assist that's coming from the rotation out from spawn directly. And that was well set up, and for Flamengo, oh, they just needed one playing anti-flash, right? What a difference that could have made.
Instead, they're limited on buy states to follow up. A Tech 9 on 2 players. Long house control being taken by Timo on his lonesome. Flamengo players still stuck back in spawn. I think Delboni's having connection issues or something. The round should be live though. Luchov took damage, as did Danico and Cuts Moretz. I wonder if they'll concede it here and let it go, or they'll allow that tech pulse to come in. I think Thomasin's also having tech problems. Something's going on. Going for a peek on Pro Show though. I think they're saying play to the whistle.
Cuts has got an excellent timing out from the doors. The problem is, it's only a Tech 9. At that sort of range, if he had an AK, that would have been a free kill to the spawn rotation.
Luchov catches Cuts at the end. Timo ahead of the smoke here at CT. VSM going to get his head taken clean off. Thomasin can strike back, as can Luchov deal with VSM. 3 on 2 now. Tech 9, Danico trying to walk his way out. He will get the kill onto Noxy, but Cassin's going to take him down. Meanwhile, Delboni did disconnect, so he was having tech problems, but the damage was done before the minute marker ticked by, so has to count in that respect. So that's 6-2. BESTIA locking in minimums.
Maybe this is a chance to talk about the overall bracket. I mean, looking at Red Canids getting a forfeit win, looking at them facing off against 9Z, what's that, the Friday official, I think that will be a good little chance to see what they're like. Because for 9Z, I mean, we haven't really seen a huge amount of officials since they brought in the new 2 players of Urbano and Levy. Those are the 2 newer guys that have only just joined them.
I won't take too long to ponder on that one. We're back in the action. Flamengo want to get right back on them. Kills for Timo. 2 coming out quickly. Cassim with his auto shots as they rush tactic their way through this. And Flamengo just crumbled to pieces, it looks like. Although they are going to get a couple of kills out of this. One was dropped in the open, however. So BESTIA, I don't know what they have to do. Form up to try and defend this long position, including 2 flankers via the long house.
It's a good little setup here because Luchov can play passively and they can just give respect to the entire plant. It seems as if they're not going to do that though. Molly down towards ramp. They want to try and see if they can cut these T's before the bomb can even cross.
A minute to work with still. Flamengo taking their time. AWP shots ringing. No default plant. Incendiary can come through. Delboni might get Luchov though. He's got no support back here. For Upon gets the kill on VSM, and now Delboni is going to get shot by Noxy as he gets caught looking the wrong way at the wrong time. BESTIA so well coordinated, so well, just like a well-oiled machine here, the way that they're playing around themselves, around each other. The peaks at the right moments, the coordinated shutdowns, Flamengo having a hard time dealing with the team play of the CT side.
Yeah, they certainly are. Flamengo, unfortunately, it's the man disadvantages that are probably hurting them the most. The amount of times around the minute marker, they're just always down by 1 or 2, and it means that it's very difficult to rectify that round. I mean, right there, the bomb's going down, your other teammate is trying to hold the cross. Where do you look? CT, short, long. There's just so many options of where CTs can pressure from. VSM might be at 8 kills, but he's only had 1 good round. 1 round with pure defined impact. That's it. It's a lack of consistency.
Five to the good on BESTIA. And their efforts doing so much over Flamengo. Timo nearly got caught off guard there. Also got close to landing the quick kill onto the man in question. Flamengo unable to find a trade, unable to find an opening. Now forming up to look towards Longhouse again though as a more cohesive unit. Luchov meanwhile trying to fight on players on short. Noxie's also there in support. Both players will take some damage. Meanwhile, that distraction has Flamengo to start acting out. Timo with 1 kill, only 1 kill. Danako on 2 points of health, and Luchov gets caught off by VSM. Oh, that's a jumping dink from the M4 and Noxie, but it's not good enough to get the kill here. The CDs are down to 2 men, making it 1. As Tomlinson was so focused on the tunnels, that Boney can take him in quick swing onto Cassin. That was a wild, wild round.
Well, it's just a round where players are just sleeping. Short contact had been made a little bit earlier into the round. A swing comes through from long and they see that it's heavy numbers. You need to be playing a retake setup from there. You need to be dropping down towards CT, retaking short from mid, and instead they're coming up ramp. They're trying to come up on the new jump box, and they're just beaten by just how quickly the short press has actually come in. BESTIA do not take a tactical to reset. They instantly come into round 11.
Four to the good still on BESTIA's lead. The best that Flamengo can do is fight at the turn of the half, so BESTIA have the CT advantage no matter what. How big that advantage really will be for Master. Timo struggles. At least Cassin's good to trade back VSM from the tunnels over on the B-bomb site. Cuts Moret's going to continue swinging forward though. Noxie gets caught, heavily damaged up. That HE sails right past the low HP man of Flamengo. Needs some serious support. BESTIA are going to lose the A-bomb site to a 4-on-4. Retake is going to be a bit of a tough ask in certain areas, particularly with the HP in mind. I would not be surprised at a save call in this situation. And yeah, they are backing off.
It's a very clever call. No one has been able to create anything in mid. It's not just the HP, it's the lack of util. You just can't retake A without util. You need flashes to get yourself up. You need incendiaries to try and drive out positions. If you have neither, there's just no point even going for it. And Flamengo will be able to get their 4th. And look, it's been a tough half for them. I think they've certainly been the weaker team, but if they can get their scoreline to a 7-5, they'll feel that they've done well there on the T side. They'll feel as if that they've not only been able to recover the scoreline, but that they've got some momentum behind them going into the second half.
Especially considering how well BESTIA shut them down in certain rounds. And still able to deal with that and come away with a 2-round deficit. There'll be a lot of positivity in that camp. Of course, we are talking about the ideals here. 8-4 is still a possibility for BESTIA at the same. Might be only a couple of rounds difference to the scoreline deficit, but would be significant enough for BESTIA to feel the confidence of their own right. Tactical pause called in so they can try and ensure that that is what they get.
I have a little chat with the head coach who used to previously be an analyst for BESTIA and an ex-pro player. Have over 200 maps played on HLTV. Part of the Isurus and Furious organizations back in Argentina. Trying to use some of that playing experience, give themselves a bit of a hand on how they can adapt to what they need to do in this very last round. Now, Cassin with the AWP was out on the B site, being an anchor in that last round. Got the first kill against the upper tunnels lurk. So you expect him to repos, play out from mid, play in towards short maybe. And Flamengo haven't had the AWP in the hands of ProShow very often. He's mainly been working at the AK or the Galil, only 1 and 10, so slow to get started. Also one of those guys that we don't know a huge amount about on Flamengo, just in terms of pro career. Hasn't had much at all. Has 409 maps played on HLTV, 34 with them for the Flamengo organization. Not officially a part of the team, but been playing with them for about a month now.
Averages much better performances than what he's showing in this map. Double orbs for him and VSM. VSM straight out of the longhouse, finds Timo to kick things off. Wasn't expecting the orb to be so aggressed. Alas, that's what's happened. Advantage Flamengo.
Pure confidence there from VSM to get out towards the blue bin, create that off angle. And for Flamengo, now you think that this default has got everything for it. VSM can hold the long corner, which allows players to walk out and scale. Lower tunnels has been taken. No re-aggro from the CT line. And I mean, it's funny. The first few gun rounds we saw from BESTIA, they were fighting short, they were fighting lower tunnels, they were playing aggro towards the mid doors. Ever since that small little margin, they've been really passive, really defensive on their CT line.
Oh, VSM and ProShow's orbs are really firing on all cylinders here. Down to 2 men on the BESTIA side. 1 now of Cassin. You can get Delboni, but he lost Luchov in the exchange. Bomb's on his way towards the A bomb site. He's nowhere near it with an AWP on a retake. No kit either. Yeah, this is going to be a 5th round from Flamengo. There's nothing that Cassin can do to deny it.
A perfect recovery. Really good work there from Flamengo, and making it 7-5 the turn. BESTIA probably think that they'll be gutted with the end of how Dust 2's gone.
Get up on your feet, this is a shakedown. Order up that beat just like it's takeout. Show me you got soul inside those new shoes. And you can rock and roll with an attitude. So good, so fresh, just the way you like it. Just the way you like it. So good, so fresh. You're the new MC, you got the remix. Keep it on repeat, just let the beat kick. Everywhere you go, you bring the roof down. Everybody knows you got your own sound. So good, so fresh, just the way you like it.
Hey Future Pros, a classic Dust 2 smoke today to block off CT for that mid to B take. To throw the smoke, get behind Xbox and crouch down. Aim to the right of this nail along the right side of the plank, then crouching jump throw the smoke. An absolute classic with the benefit of landing on the box, making it harder for the CTs to contest. Just watch out for smoke breaks, spams and flash pushes, then I'm sure you can take the B side.
Well, BESTIA do lead at the turn of the half, but can Flamengo turn it back against them? Only 2 rounds separate, a 7-5 advantage. BESTIA move towards the T side of this Dust 2. Again, a map that was picked in by the Flamengo side, but BESTIA did best them on it in a past life. Will they best them here today, here and now? Pistols are already live. BESTIA involved towards the longhouse take. Thomas in going to draw out first blood against Pro Show. You also got Danica on low HP. Delboni may have to do the heavy lifting on the defensive. Backup is on the way. His teammate is down. Flash in. All 3 players caught by a Delboni with 2 kills as a result. Third man, Noxie's in trouble, but he holds on to both the kills. And suddenly it's VSM, that top fragger, that impact star of Flamengo, to do all of it left in the pistol round. And he's surrounded, known so well. The bomb's on its way to B. There's nothing he can do to stop it.
Oh, Delboni knows that's the round, doesn't he? I mean, right there, the flash timing, the position. The first 2 kills are pretty clean, but he needs that third one. Needs it against the in-game leader. The VSM can try absolutely everything, but there is no chance that this round is getting won. BESTIA, the in-game leader of Noxie, does well out there from long. Just denies Flamengo the chance to recover that round.
And that was an excellent double sequence from him, and I didn't think he was going to get. 2 players facing him. Surely by that point you think one of them would hit the shot, but no. He got them both, and that only adds up to the problems that Flamengo have got to face. BESTIA up to 8, going to start to extend this lead. Flamengo, of course, not really having the cash to force buy or justification to force buy either. So they'll take this next eco on the chin. Means that BESTIA can go even further with this scoreline advantage and start approaching a scoreline which seems unwinnable from, if you are Flamengo. Only a Deagle and a P250 purchased.
Yeah, Thomas in waiting to see if there's any short aggression, anything to come out from sort of the Xbox area from mid. And this Galil just needs to get as much damage as possible before falling. There's not many teammates around him, so the CT should be able to take this Galil in.
And they'll take players with them here on the part of Flamengo. Only one of them, though. Thomas in the 1 to 4. The scouts stay, the rifles, the automatic rifles particularly, held over by Kassin, Luchov, and Noxie. And indeed, we're up to 9 on the BESTIA side. T half advantage continues to roll their way, although they're calling their 3rd and final tactical. They called 2 back-to-back during the last few rounds of the first half. What are they anticipating here for Flamengo?
Well, BESTIA know, win this round, win the best of 3. That's the mindset. When you're 9-5 up on the T side of Dust 2, you convert here, you're going to get the job done. You're going to go into Ancient with a lot of confidence. So it's a key round in the overall series. Flamengo want to just try and see if they can get VSM as quickly involved in action. I think we've seen some decent highlights from him in the first half, but you kind of want to see a little bit more. If you've signed him into the roster, if he's meant to be your go-to guy, you don't want him to drop 30. You want him to be the reason that Flamengo get 13 rounds and win Dust 2. It's as simple as that.
Two players delivering the impact, but the rest of them having some struggles to keep pace.
They really expected a B rush. I mean, 3B early round here from Flamengo.
Well, BESTIA have played the Fools for the most part. They were playing up quick there, but stalled off the back of that smoke. Make their move in just before it starts to fade. Molly's flashes go over. Danica lines up spray damage onto Thomasin. A player out towards this car position that will end up taking down that opening kill. Danica and ProShow continue fragging away as one Molotov will take one back from Flamengo's part. And keeping those players over on this half of the map ends up paying off for Flamengo. Bomb dropped and all.
That definitely looked like an anti-strat there. First gun round, so that was, from at least a radar perspective, an easy read. 3 players on B, eventually transitions to only 2, but the 3rd player could be quick on rotate. And Danoco, let's be honest, he was struggling out there from the barrels, and it still ended up being a clean round. BESTIA have got almost nothing in this one. Resmokes keep coming down. I think they're probably better off saving these last couple.
Oh, VSM's pushing, so they might even be giving him the chance. I think he heard the jump up, though. Comes up with the spray. Eventually, Noxie will drop. Another Luchov was providing the boost, so he's out of the round. Try to grab that AK and run away with it. Save at least that small little piece of equipment. Other than that, you are looking at a 6th for Flamengo. Yeah, you're right. Anti-stratting. Reading BESTIA like a book in how they played up. And you can't be too surprised that Flamengo would bring tactics like that into the fold when they have had a map loss over BESTIA in the past. So, and in the very recent past, I should add, again, only about like a couple of weeks ago where we saw that best of one. On this occasion, it's worked, but how many more anti-strats like that can you pull out of course this map?
Well, not a lot on Dust 2, can you? The best thing that you can do in terms of anti is preparation against the default. Certain timings of util might give you an understanding on whether it's going to be a fake or whether it's going to be a full-on exec, but it's not like a map of Inferno and Ancient where you can get readability on rounds. Dust 2 is so default heavy. Let's just look at a T side of what gets done. You smoke off mid doors, you molly up short, you slowly take lower tunnels. If you got long spawns, you run out long. It is just a defaulty map. It's the most default map we've got in the pool right now.
So we need to see something more from Flamengo. It was a good round to start off your CT campaign. But now you need to show some consistency with it in terms of the rifle wins, the rounds overall. 3 to the good still for BESTIA, and they've got money to buy back into their weapons across the rest of the board. Not everyone's completely well off. You're lacking an AK for Thomasin, and more importantly, utility across 4 of the players. So Flamengo's anti-strat has certainly brought the hammer down on BESTIA's potential in follow-up rounds. Can they turn it into success? And it will come down to those individuals once again.
Well, we know that Flamengo, they've accepted the invite to ECL for Cup number 1, Cup 2, and Cup 3. So you start wondering what sort of consistency we might see in terms of a placement from them. Can they keep pushing for top 8s, top 6s as an example? Kind of use this bracket as maybe a goal, a par to what we could see in others? And there's no denying that a lot of people would have expected Flamengo to go down to an Otic in the lower bracket round 2, to go down to Imperial in the lower bracket round 3. But when you've been given the gift of forfeit wins, you've got to take it as it comes and face each opponent no matter which level they're at.
Luchov will lead his team into mid. Flamengo haven't got any resistance in direct competition here. One man back behind the smoke over at the mid doors. No one in con, no one over a short. Pro shows are incendiaries to block. The teams will make their way out, and Pro Show will do his best to flashbang blind them. And he is going to catch several players blind and get a kill onto Cassin as Donako can peek forward and get Thomas in from beyond that smoke. A 5-on-3, making it 2. Flamengo have once again locked out BESTIA from these B takes. 4 alive, 4 down on the BESTIA side. And the last man just domed instantly. All 5 alive for Flamengo to close out their 7th.
It's definitely not uncommon for 2 players to be playing out on B, but a 3rd player to be there definitely is. This is got to be some sort of read that constantly is coming forward towards Cuts Moretz for them to give so much respect of mid, play back and hang passively. Mass AKs are being saved now on the CT side, and for BESTIA, this might be where they need to start to challenge short a little bit more in the gun rounds, put a bit more pressure on with util or trying to take that map control just to try and drive off of some of these positions that are being held.
BESTIA. Take an eco on the chin, look towards Flamengo potentially catching up. And they have been out-positioned, outgunned on this B-bomb site twice over. And they'll have to face the punishment for that. Not just in this round, but also potentially in the next round. 3 AKs what Flamengo have to work with. You can't be expecting any casualties directly out of BESTIA if they get all three of these AKs to drop. And that'll be even fantastic for them. The bomb plant may be the priority here. Thomas in close towards the bomb, but the bomb site rather. The bomb, however, being dropped out there towards the short entrance. I believe down on CT is where it's fallen. One kill comes out for Thomas in and for Cassin as well, so they do make it somewhat expensive. The third kill will be lovely, but Cassin's got a Glock only, doing damage to Danico, but he stays alive. That third AK should get recovered. Or not, actually, so the eco does at least a little something to the firepower of Flamengo.
Yeah, BESTIA can now just focus up on the gun rounds. Now, when we look at them, 8 wins, 4 losses in the last 3 months on this map of HLTV. Flamengo getting 11 wins and 5 losses. It's always VSM and ProShow that seem to put up the more, I would say, substantial performances, more consistent lines. And maybe a bit concerning that an experienced player like Danoco is only down at 5 and 12. Fast, out and aggressive towards long from the first individual playing anti-flash. Luchov trying to get as close towards a long corner smoke as possible.
Amazon's right behind him. Spray blinding from beyond that smoke. A resmoke comes into the CT side. Flashbang forward. Doesn't affect the man entirely, but Cut still gets that kill. Thomas in with a trade back, and VSM going to pop out, mostly blinded. Adjusted the first and the second. Oh, the third kill. Transfer that spray towards Noxy roughly. Doesn't get away with the quadra, but that's all good for him. VSM, what a sequence that is. 22 deep. And now that impact is bringing rounds in for his team.
He's just such a strong rifler when confidence is high. And you look at that round, I mean, just the crosshair placement, the ability to pop through the CT smoke like that, that's class, that's proper quality. And Cuts Brett signs up the rounds, but VSM, so difficult when the flash is just clearing. Makes it look very easy with the first couple of kills, and BESTIA, they're getting pumped in this second half.
Trying to go fast in towards his B-bomb site, catch them on the rotations, rush tactics, this time working out rather well, 1 for 1, as VSM does take Tomlinson down at least. M4 picked up for Cassin beyond that smoke, over the B doors, ProShow's not ready for it, VSM can get the trade, but Luchov holds the man advantage for BESTIA. 3 on 2, their pacings work this time. Flamengo, difficult retake to maintain, but at least Noxy's low and Luchov is core. Noxy still gets the kill on Cuts, and the Take 9 Timo is close. Delboni, his shoulder's been seen. He gets that pick in, but Noxy at low HP holds the round together for BESTIA.
Oh, right there, the B-site anchor has one job to do against any rush, and that is to block for time and put damage up. And what's happened? He's been rushed and he's just done nothing. He's not been able to block them into a cancel, and he's not even got 1 for 1. That's unacceptable at any level. Flamengo just get purely beaten by pace out there on B.
BESTIA are right back in the lead. Tactical called in. Not by the Argentinian call, though. It's all 3 used by BESTIA. The first one called out for Flamengo now. Start to recognize the danger of where this map could go from here. Finally, a B rush has worked out to the favor of their opposition, and then the one time they couldn't hold on to it, did so well in their previous B defensives, but not on this occasion. BESTIA side of things, you still got a lot of work to do. Money's still there for a buy-up. You're still 3 rounds away from the win.
A deep smoke for the CTs to try and control mid if they want to go aggressive in from short. VSM and ProShow, HE down towards the lower tunnels, doesn't really do a lot there towards Luchov. Long is completely contested by Cut, so he can sit here and tuck behind the doors. You can even have Delboni that can play around him, jiggle off, re-smoke goes and just waste a little bit more time. Now, for Cuts, they can just leave him here. He doesn't need to move from this position onwards.
Just hold that corner. You can hear players rotating back, so you start to call some information back to your teammates. Mid or B could be getting threatened here. It will be B bomb site. Of course, we know that. Flamengo don't. BESTIA forming up with the bomb down there in the lower tunnels. There could also be a chance to wrap into A if time and the circumstances dictate it. The ProShow Zorp is standing to attention. Flashed off, Luchov to check their position, but doesn't see his man.
It's definitely a B lane. But it's what VSM can do against the mid flank. He hears the drop down, knows that Luchov is there. There's no util for Dinoco to block on B.
In the case of sort of mid to B play, smokes come down. Dinoco sees what's going on. Doorway's open, giving him a chance to get a kill. Timo trades him back. Delboni charging up as Timo lines up a secondary kill with damage done to a backup player, a tertiary one from that AK. Thomasin will find VSM as it extends out of the window, and the bomb can now commit, plant easily. Flamengo just bottlenecked in the doorway, fed themselves over to BESTIA.
None of the VSM's numbers have been a bit inflated because, especially in the first half, there was quite a few kills that didn't lead to round victories and a few anti-ecos. But if you are 24 and 13 and you just press tab and you see ProShow on 6, you see Dinoco on 6, you see Cutsmerets on 6, you're like, well, what's going on? Like, how are we meant to win? How are we meant to take maps in series? How are we meant to beat the better teams in the region where individually we're just not good enough? Like, we need to be better than what we are. And it's a shame that it's an anti-eco that kind of ruins it, isn't it? Because if you lose back-to-back gun rounds, you can kind of throw your hands up and say, oh, look, whatever, okay, it was a gun round. But losing it to a B rush on a light buy and then losing the next gun round, it hurts because that's now just crippled your chances of taking map 1 of the series.
This is a concern I threw up earlier today, Dwayne, when I said, well, VSM's a great individual, but if the elements around him are not up to snuff, or sometimes you're going to have some problems like this. Unfortunately, one of those elements being a stand-in. And the other one being the IGL, who you also said, on the part of BESTIA at least, it also applies to Flamengo in this context, that the non-fragging IGLs just don't work in modern CS. And Cuts may be feeling that quite significantly for Flamengo.
But even here, I know that VSM did a little bit of double AWPing on Oplano, and I see it from time to time. I think he's just too good of a rifler. I think it's just a waste to put a double AWP on him in this instance. I just think round 21, you get 2 AWPs out, but I think you get a bit more impact out of him if he's got a rifle.
I'd forgive it if they had enough money to drop a secondary rifle so he can swap up to it if he needs to, but I think you're right otherwise. He does connect the AWP shot on Castle and Lisa, a chance to prove you wrong. First frag goes down, ProShow bails him out. The AWPers combine. Noxy concerned about both entryways, blind spraying roughly onto his contact position. VSM, he's going to be a threat, but Noxy is able to deal with him, pushing the other AWPer away. Timo going to extend to get a kill just outside of the doorway. Danico's down, backstab's coming in for Cuts. ProShow's low, Delboni is tagged as a 3-on-3. Noxy is the most exploitable man of the moment. Bomb will get planted and Cuts is not being watched. No one directly. 3 to gain, only a tag done to the backline player. Cuts is forced back. Flamengo running out of options. As Delboni finally strikes, Timo's caught in the open. Still got Luchov, a concerning factor. He's sent to the bomb site, gets Delboni. ProShow deals with Noxy. Luchov swings out to the second man. Last man standing, edge of the smoke. And ProShow lands his kill. No kit in mind. He's still got time for it. An all-important round clutch for Flamengo.
Oh, what a round to come out from ProShow. Great protection to just help out VSM, because you could see how much trouble he was out there on B. If he doesn't get help on that rotator, he's done in a 1-for-1 trade instantly. And you'd probably say the round is over. That's a 4v4 where they can get the bomb down easily. ProShow needs to fight. He needs to keep that press up. And that's a triple where he might have had a struggling map. That is a huge highlight, and that's a way back into the map.
Huge round for Flamengo because BESTIA felt like they were going to take it still. VSM back on the M4. Can't help but feel like if he had the M4 for the previous round, then actually it would have been a much more confident lockout. 4 players worth of casualties means that Flamengo are taking limitations here on a couple of individuals. Danico and Cuts on Famarses. Only so much utility to spare and all. BESTIA working their way into a more spread out default this time, not centered towards that B bomb site like it has been before. Mango Waiting for Timo to extend, but he doesn't do so here at the house.
Haven't seen many short execs from either squad in regulation. It's just seen mainly short presses into what is B contacts. Flash around the corner. Timo knows the cuts on the press, and, well, the FAMAS gets a bit of a freebie there.
Shows up, lands on Luchov next. Down to 3 are BESTIA. That bomb's still looking to commit in from mid, in fact. Possibly could still be a B split, or B play rather. Not going to be a split play, although A is about to be discovered to be all left alone, all abandoned. Noxy hasn't got all the info just yet, though. Cassin and Thomasin will start their rotates.
Well, this is a good call to bring the bomb up towards short because there's just so much space being created by this lurk. The AWP, unfortunately, does go down, and now you just start hesitating. And there's low time on the clock. You can get the bomb plant open for short, but 2v4 with almost no util, you need a miracle to win this round.
Cassin needs to find the fight on this long player, otherwise just hold down to the short and CT angles. Thomasin, in fact, going to start to extend towards short. Got to find a kill against Cuts Clean, though. Flashbang comes over, turns in, headshot gain. Secondary player right around the corner. Just seen. Tap burst. Spray goes a little bit awry. Both him and Danico take their damage. The Orpa watching for contact, and he's aware that VSM is close. 2v2 now. AK losing his fight. Cassin can't hit the headshot, and ProShow takes that chance to strike. But if they stall for enough time here, it's going to be close on the defuse kit, even with the 5-second stick. I think BESTIA have just done it. Oh, not quite. Not quite. We're 11 apiece.
This is where BESTIA need to make a very tough decision on whether they want to buy here or not. They know that it could be instant reset and that we could win this game 13-11 by buying up. However, we buy up and we lose the map because the money is pretty horrendous. You're going to see a few players down onto Galils rather than just AKs. And yes, they are going to buy. There is only a single AK here. Now, they're not even taking a tactical for Flamengo's perspective to try and slow it down. They want to try and keep that pressure up. Remember, Flamengo have got tacs, BESTIA don't.
Just the one tac. Just the one tech for BESTIA. Tech 9 on Luchov, the weakened weapon. Mac 10 for Noxy. 2 Galils, 1 AK. ProShow's orb stands to attention on the A bomb site. He's started to pick things up in the last few rounds.
I think it has to be a short fake to a mid to B. They know that the AWP is out towards A. And when you've got light util and crap weaponry, you never want to face against an AWP.
BESTIA will let this clock run for a little bit. Trying to get a better feel out of where Flamengo are playing from, and particularly trying to suss out that AWP. Smokes and flashbangs start coming over. Delboni will draw out first. Luchov trades, but Danico's M4 can take down Thomas and Noxy. He's got ProShow with utility pulled out. He's found the Orpa and upgraded his weapon. 3-on-3 now. They quickly hit that A bomb site. Carl's got to get out of the way. Noxy finds VSM with a quick adjustment shot. Tanks a ding to 2 HP, but he's got the man advantage now for BESTIA.
Tanoko is still worried about this CT spawn player. Doesn't know exactly where the repos is, and Luchov is not even fighting against the long player.
He's known, though, mining his teammates to back him up because he's going to get exposed. Taps coming in. Galil burst fire, cuts tagged to half HP. Danico led by the AWP. Timo finishes off the job against both. And BESTIA nip it in the bud. The risk has paid off. 12-11 on map point of Dust 2. And you got players on $1,500. This buy is going to look rough for Flamengo.
Oh, that's a lazy rotation there from ProShow. They know that there was a drop down towards spawn, but because of the kill coming out to mid, the expectation is that Noxy is going to keep pushing from CT towards that B bomb site and not back the other way. Not even having a weapon drawn. That's an easy kill for the Mac 10.
Oh, they're going to end it on a rush. I thought for a second they were. The smoke going to get out real quick for Flamengo, though. BESTIA were charging their way, at least 3 players in towards the tunnels. Delboni's been tagged to the first engagement out of that B bomb site. Thomasin takes some back in return, at least. but no kills just yet to open. Luchov and Noxy are making decent noise up here towards short. But Flamengo are not biting the bait.
But they've got time, and the more time that BESTIA work, the more util they're going to draw from the CT line, so eventually they're being almost nothing. Molly out, Cuts is going to have to move. BESTIA just need to make sure they're not running into any kind of trap, because it's turning into a bit of a gamble, and there's an info play behind this smoke out towards main, and that gets caught. Delboni, unfortunately, is probably just given the opening casualty to what will be a round collapse now.
Wanting to hunt for info, but just got a bullet to the back of the head. Cuts Moretz has fallen elsewhere. In a lower tunnel, as you can see, for Tomazin. He's got 2 more CTs up there in mid. Danako being closer, Prosho being further. Danako does damage, but Tomazin gets away with the kill. 5-7 barrels, or Tomazin's ready. Headshots gained. VSM's M4 and a 1v5 at 40 HP as well. Luchov will take the trade back against him. It's 13-11. It might have been a stressing affair, but BESTIA have come out on top of the opponent's map pick.
It's a shame there from Flamengo, because I think there was a few rounds that should have gone their way that didn't in that second half. I mean, look at what happens on the pistol, right? You've got the flash assist. What is it? Delboni goes out there towards the long challenge. He gets the first 2 kills, and then somehow they just can't trade Noxy. That's one example. The very next few rounds, you have a rush B where your B-site anchor gets nothing. You lose that one. You then lose against another B-site round, and the score is just kind of out of your favor. I think that overall, Flamengo probably feel that they should have won there on Dust 2. And sometimes it is just one round that can make the difference, especially when you get a scoreline like that at 13-11, all rounds of regulation.
Well, I will say that at the very least, VSM should have felt like he should have won that matchup. Man was posting up numbers beyond belief at times, but the backing was not quite there. And you can talk about the impact being over, or the numbers being overinflated compared to the impact from VSM overall, but it's 25 kills by the end of that map up or so. Like, you're still talking about a ridiculous number for any sort of margin to think about.
Yeah, it's true, and that's going to be something that weighs on their minds moving back into map 2 of the series. I know that they've not got the best of records against BESTIA, and it's probably not the start that they're looking for, but look, they've got to just dig deep, don't they? They've got to try and survive in this best of 3.
Ancients coming up next is the pick of the BESTIA side, and for right good reason. They smashed out a 13-0 over Flamengo in their last best of 3 on this map up, so can they repeat history and go 2-0 this time? We'll find out after the break.
this is a shakedown. Order up that beat just like it's takeout. Show me you got soul inside those new shoes, and you can rock and roll with an attitude. So good, so fresh, just the way you like it. Just the way you like it. So good, so fresh. You're the new MC, you got the remix. Keep it on repeat, just let the beat kick. Everywhere you go, you bring the roof down. Everybody knows you got your own sound. So good, so fresh, just the way you like it. Just the way you like it. So good, so fresh. Yeah, you like it, the way you like it. Oh, yeah, you like it, the way you like it now. Yeah, you like it, the way you like it. Oh, so good, so fresh. Get up on your feet. Show me you got soul. Just the way you like it. So good, so fresh. Just the way you like it. The way you like it. So good, so fresh. Get up on your feet, this is a shakedown.
It's a positive start for BESTIA in this best of three as they take home Dust 2. Flamengo picked into it, hoping they could try and punish some previous mistakes that BESTIA had made, but it didn't quite work out for them. At 13-11, the Argentinian squad will look to move forward to Ancient, their own pick, in the high hopes of a 2-0 here and now.
I think the hopes are probably going to get reached. I don't really have a huge amount of faith here for Flamengo. I think they're a very inconsistent Ancient team. It's one of their weaker maps in the pool. They get some okay results, but then also some losses versus teams that they should beat. The one decent positive for them is that just over a week ago, they were able to beat Fluxo on this map, which is one of the top teams in the region. The counterpoint is that BESTIA has been able to do that as well. So for that reason, especially with how they played against 9Z yesterday, I don't have much faith here in Flamengo. I think they'll be able to threaten a few rounds and maybe keep it tight from a scoreline perspective, but this is definitely shaped up for a 2-0 now.
I have a feeling this map is going to play out similarly to how Dust 2 played out, in the sense that obviously we have a previous map on record, so Flamengo would have put in the work to try and contest it now that they've learned from their previous mistakes. I think it could be closer than the previous Ancient, but I think much like how Dust 2 went down, you're probably looking at BESTIA indeed making it a 2-0 series here and now, because, yeah, you're right, like, it's not just Fluxo as well. They've beaten out 9Z, who are a team I could consider to be better than both of these sides, and they beat them out twice on this map up at the same period. So, again, a lot of positivity for BESTIA now into their own map pick, into their own home territory. The history speaks towards them. The performance they had over the course of that Dust 2 as well. I have to say that from a team play perspective, they had Flamengo pretty nicely beat.
Yeah, it's true. And maybe some of the factors might just come down to a few of the individuals. I mean, look at ProShow, right? He's been playing with Flamengo for the last month. He's gunning for a contract. He's hoping to be a permanent fixture for this squad. And instead, it's a pretty average showing out there on map 1. He has one good round where he protects VSM out on B and he gets a multi-frag, but he finishes Dust 2 with just 12 kills. And going into Ancient, statistically, it's one of his worst maps in the pool. So when you are one of these younger players that maybe is an inexperienced player in a top quality game like this against BESTIA, you need to show up. You need to be able to put in a good showing, and unfortunately it wasn't really there. So there's chance for redemption. There's a second opportunity, I would say, now that you go into map 2, but with how Ancient can be quite AWP heavy on the CT side, and even for the T side for that matter, I want to see a lot more from him in particular.
And just for reference as well, the 12 kills that he's got is only one better than bottom fragger of BESTIA from that last map up at 11. So you're not talking about some very great performances from a guy who, rocking the most expensive weapon in the game, should probably be finding a little bit more in terms of impact. In terms of impact for Flamengo, though, you can't fault VSM, even if you want to talk about potentially inflated on the impact amounts. I mean, look, he posted 1.43 on the rating 3.0, had 26 frags. Like, it's just how much more do you want to ask out of the guy in terms of impact? I think a lot of the issues for Flamengo stem on the other individuals just not being able to support him.
And the reason that maybe it's a bit concerning is that VSM is a role player. He's not a star player. He's not in a lot of the active positions. Oftentimes he plays quite lurkish on T side, and he plays a lot of the small site and big site anchor roles. So for that reason, he shouldn't even really be involved in too many fights. He should be able to show his excellence in the late round of the clutches and the 1v scenarios. So if you can drop nearly 30, it tells you that you've had a really good game, but you've not been able to bring much around you. Now, I said it towards the end of the last map. I think they had some really good chances and just didn't quite close. So if we're going to use that notion, right, if we're going to use that as a benchmark, then it doesn't really matter what the numbers look like. It doesn't matter if VSM drops nearly 30 or if ProShow's on 12. Fundamentally, they were very close to winning Dust 2. So fundamentally, they need to be very close again. And maybe it isn't looking at the numbers, but it's looking at who's going to be winning those key rounds and at what moments throughout both the first half and the second half of Ancient.
Indeed, you're right. I mean, something you said earlier is that you don't want to be seeing him dropping 30 frags and losing. You want to see him dropping 30 frags and actually making the difference to push it past the 13th round, and that's what we were missing from the Flamengo side. And again, I have a feeling that we're going to get a similar sort of situation coming out of the second map where, yes, you'll see a very good performance from players like that, but you won't be able to see them have enough of that impact with enough of the rest of the team to be able to turn over a map victory here on Ancient. And we're both sort of in league with that, is that this should end up being a 2-0 for BESTIA Bestia on paper.
And for Noxy, I mean, he's getting very close to 1,500 maps on HLTV. I mean, as of right now, he's at 1,490. You'd like to use this ECL lower bracket as a chance to come closer to that achievement, but also with the goal of a Pro League spot. It doesn't matter how we might view Bestia. When you're the in-game leader of the squad, you're coming in with a lot of confidence. You're looking at the majority of these teams and saying, look, we've played Fluxo recently. We've been able to beat them. Well, hang on a second. Let's get the 2-0 here today. Let's face Fluxo tomorrow. Let's try and get the win there. And let's try and see if we can actually have a lower bracket run to target that final spot.
Of course, we are in the lower bracket for this matchup, so loser will be eliminated. Flamengo could be one map away from taking that suffering. Bestia on for the 2-0. Going to take this map, their pick in the series. Starting off on T side, the Pistols are live with a PT50 for Cassin and Julie set for Cutsbarets on Flamengo.
Quite aggressive from the two CT players in from Donut. You've got a spotter of Dinoco down there from the big box, and Prosho trying to take distraction away from the other Donut individual.
I don't know if shots on initially. VSM does get a couple kills out of it. Very nicely done from him, but Luchov trades back the backup. VSM playing ring and rosies with the man. Cannot seem to stabilize the shot himself. Now running out of ammo. The Tees will take control of the bomb site. The bomb carrier, though, drops himself, and VSM turns in 4 kills as a result. Timo overwhelmed by Delboni. If he didn't get caught by him, he'd be get caught by somebody else. They're both inbound from Donut. A pistol win goes on the board of Flamengo, and once again, it's VSM central to their success.
Well, that is a perfect example of legitimately awful communication. What is going on in that round from the T side? You've got your Donut player leaving, and then your A player going into Donut. I mean, Bestia are just all over themselves right there. They're caught in two minds. Now, don't get me wrong, if they're taking Donut together and they're pressurizing VSM, there's nothing wrong with that call. If they leave Donut and focus on the bomb site to cut rotations and Temple CT, that's also fine. But caught in hesitation, I don't know what is going on there in the pistol rounds.
Look at Bestia forcing their way back in and then a follow-up, and well, Delboni's going to get 2 kills out of it. Flashbang not affecting the man at all. Wow, just easy pickings, it looks like. Triple kill for Delboni. One on the board of Cutsbarets. A simple 2-0 start for Flamengo. Bestia put on the back foot early.
And for Flamengo, this is where they've got to try and ride the confidence. They've got experienced players on this side. I mean, VSM, Delboni, and Dinoco, they've all played at a tier 1 level at one point or another. I know that it hasn't been for long periods, and it has only been sort of short stints with at least those tier 1 opportunities of playing in and around the LAN circuit. But they are guys that have been around for a very long time in the local scene. Bestia down to a little bit of a disappointing start with the pistol and the anti-force buy. Flamengo should get an early third.
Yeah, contrast those pistols with not the most confident play setup in the world, but still far more superior than what you've got to work with. The bonus rifles, if you will. And you carry forward to a bonus rifle round on their own part. SMGs are farming the cash for the most part, and one casualty of the MP9. The UMP and Julie sets of Cutsbarets eventually also goes down the same. Secondary kill, tertiary one against Delboni. Not going to be allowed as Noxious caught looking the wrong way. There will be a 3-0 start for Flamengo. Bestia up to their bye round now.
You've got Cassin averaging a 1.34 rating across the last 3 months of the Ancient Officials. The AWP didn't get featured, I would say, that frequently at all from Bestia. Saw a lot of rifle action from him in both the first half and the second half. You imagine now going into Ancient, we should see the AWP in his hands more frequently. Bestia just need to start getting a feel for pace, how they're going to work lane, how they're going to work the first stage of match control out towards elbow. VSM taking mid quite aggressively with Delboni, and Thomasin completely blinded, just starts spamming and backs off, gives the respect.
And we have Thomasin and Timo tagged up, but Delboni tagged in return on Flamengo's part. Last found the corner. Thomasin just peeks underneath the crosshair and gets the kill. Bestia have bested that main access and also that B bomb site access as well. Thomasin's got another kill. VSM's down out towards elbow, so he's just fragging on all cylinders here. Bomb should get planted. They're down by 2 men for the retake.
Flamengo shouldn't have much in this at all. Should just be an instant save. They're hanging around towards short at the moment just to see if any frags present, but nothing does, so they back off and save. Now, it's funny, we've been covering quite a lot of South America action recently, and this lurk smoke that is thrown from the T-side line that sort of lands just to the right of the pillar, and it allows a walk action. The T-side individuals can scale up ramp, they can hold the cave entrance, hold the left side of the pillar. I wouldn't say it's that common in Tier 2 in Europe, but in South America, it's very common, and it's maybe something that we're starting to see a lot of the local teams pair up with one another, not always in throwing the smoke and walking, but just throwing the smoke and forcing further util, maybe forcing the CT line to retake ramp, so an extra body has to go out there towards B. So definitely keep an eye on it from both BESTIA's perspective, but also Flamengo's perspective on how often that smoke is being thrown in the first half and the second.
Well, BESTIA on the board now. First for the T-side line, AKs lining the entire T-side board as well. Flamengo. That Orpin play on the contrary for Pro Show. We talked about him having a lackluster game in the first. So you want to see more out of him in the second. So far it's fragless in the early 4 rounds. Fifth could be his chance to change that. Molotov out at the back of Donut, and he gets nothing for his trouble. No shot connecting, no kills found. Instead, it's the backstab that rotates in to catch all sorts of players off guard. A 4v2 as they get mowed through on BESTIA's par here. Timo and Tomazin losing the bomb access towards the Donut entrance. Tomazin's going to be wary about the mid players as well. Orb shot, Pro Show missing for the second time, finally catching Tomazin. Timo does not know he's being flanked as VSM can close him, and oh, Flamengo can get right back on the backside of that BESTIA.
Excellent utility usage from the player that was protecting Pro Show with the AWP in there at Donut. That single flashbang has just given cover. It's given BESTIA a very difficult time of dealing with Pro Show. Anytime you molly an AWPer and he gets forced out in the open, you think it's a freebie. You think, okay, we're going to get an easy sitter kill. We can start accelerating towards A. But they just get halted for a handful of seconds, and then all of a sudden there is a running shelf player out from cave into the open. Multi-frag lineup comes in. Flamengo 4-1 up on the CT line now.
Indeed they are. 3 to the goods. BESTIA trying to make their way quick in towards this A bomb site. Timo just running and gunning and getting no accuracy for his trouble. 1-for-1 as Luchov trades back his casualty, but doubles up with Kassin's AWP as well. And that will leave BESTIA with the round. A 4-on-2 that Flamengo just cannot retake against.
BESTIA have had a few different approaches towards B, and I'd say both of them have been quite unorthodox. You've got Timo recently that walked up there with the lurk smoke. They then go into another round, and it's not an exec. It's not even taking first stage of cave. It's just going up with a pop setup. Very quick, very fast, good crosshair placement. A little bit of a lurk to come out from both CT and from A. So they're trying to pressurize the saving players. They're trying to make it awkward for Pro Show and VSM.
Now hunting down Flamengo players quickly. The AWP staying in for Pro Show with quite a lot of reserve cash for him and Del Boni for that matter. And should be seeing drop weapons and rifles to return from the Flamengo side. BESTIA are going to start whittling down this economy game. They just need to find the follow-up and truly find the reset. Something they didn't do when they got their first round on the board. Let's see if round 7 can yield some better results.
VSM looking to try and take mid aggressively with his teammate. Being hit by the anti-rush util of the T-side line though, down to 50. Cuts Moretz fast and aggressive in towards cave. Now because of that smoke, he can try and HE, but also come out the shelf could potentially be taken.
Utility set. Smokes deeper outside of Cheetah. VSM take the half HP. Extension from Cuts is not going to go so far as to move outside of that smoke, but will try his hands with the Cheetah wallbangs.
He smoked a little bit deeper there, Jay, rather than just on the cave entrance, and that just means that the T's are really going to struggle to take shelf control. So you sort of minimalize taking cave, but then also minimalizing taking shelf.
Danico didn't catch that player up towards the top of the lane. He seen vision, he man hides himself. Instead, he's flashbang in for Timo, who catches ProShow completely blinded and doubles up on Danico. Meanwhile, 2 players are walking out towards the A bomb site. Timo's not done. Finally gets cut down by Kutzmaret. But Thomason extended all the way to the back of Temple. He's going to extend out towards CT, in fact. Dalboni doesn't realize that he's in trouble here. Molotov forcing him forward. Bombs on his way. Noxie watching and waiting as Dalboni goes down, swings towards VSM. Cuts will get Thomas in. Bananas, both players known towards the T-side line. Bomb carrier looking to swing forward with Noxie, trying to hunt down VSM here. Orp on position. VSM goes falling and Cuts is in a 1 versus 3 for the retake. Flanked by Luchov. Dealt with by Noxie. Double for him in the round. 3 rounds on the board of Bestia and the reset that they're looking for in effect.
And I think that's the difference between Dust 2 and Ancient, how you can just fiddle with rotations, can't you? That's a really good fundamental round for Bestia. A lot of B pressure, and it helps when you can generate impact. For Timo to even get 1, you could start seeing the shifting of rotations. For him to get 2, it's just complete disaster. It's an easy A walk. Players are everywhere. Lurks are on B, Lurks are on A. You don't know where to look. And Flamengo may have been able to get a 4-1 start where there weren't even bomb plants in Bestia, but now with a couple of rounds in a row, their economy is broken.
I did say reset in full effect, but apparently not quite. It's still opting to buy with the AWPs and the 2 M4s. All the ProShow would drop some more extra rifles, potentially get Danico up on 1. But wants the big green gun instead. It was him and the Danico being the 2 bottom fraggers right now on the server. Or Flamengo especially. DSM's M4s posted up towards Tetris. We get caught on timing, and that timing's perfect for Luchov. Double not quite secure, that's what Noxie's there for, and he swings towards ProShow, who gets nothing done with the AWP. A site's open, round is over, Bestia are going to go 4 apiece, and fully reset Flamengo this time, so now we should go 5-4 up into their favour.
And Noxie individually has had a pretty strange series in that this was just nothing like how he played yesterday. We'll wait to see what the CTs find out here towards Shelf. Noxie is struggling, so yeah, maybe to go back on that one. But yeah, I mean, map number 1, we saw, what, a pretty good showing for the in-game leader. I mean, it was only 14 kills, but he was involved in the multi-frag with the Glock round in the pistol. And again, just to go back to his stats yesterday, Jay, 24 kills, 48 deaths. That's negative 24 on KD difference, a 54.1 ADR, and a 0.69 rating when the next player up had dropped 40 kills. So you're basically getting doubled by almost everyone in your team.
Let's put it this way in terms of his own impact, right? He might have only had like 14 frags on that previous map up, but actually he was top rated on 3.0, and that's partially because of the new swing stat that they put on HLTV, which better represents how impactful a player was over the course of a map up, and he actually had the best swing of anybody in server throughout Dust 2, so you're right to sort of assess him as having a very good series thus far. He's looking to deal with these pistol players here on the cheater angle and losing Luchov and his team, and actually losing his own life, so not quite as effective. But we are talking about low HP players with pistols. 1 more good pop shot from a Deagle would be nice to have. Bestia should still be in the driver's seat for this round.
And Flamengo, unfortunately, just trying to search elsewhere. And Dalboni's starting to leave. And VSM is also starting to leave. Off angle out towards short, and Timo gets a bit of a freebie. Bestia can now take the lead back, and for Flamengo, all eyes, all expectations are going to be on this next gun round from them.
Well, like I said, broke the buy state, broke the economy permanently. Reset is over. Bestia have the lead now, 1 away from minimums. And still on for an 8-4 half if they go perfect from here. Flamengo to make it 7-5 half of their favour if they go perfect from here. It'll be a nice solid return from where they were at previously, being down 5-7 on the last map at the turn of the half. And Bestia will not take that one lying down. They've got plenty of cash to buy into a follow-up. And they have been looking good on some of these rifles as well.
A missed elbow smoke there from the CT line, and that means another smoke has to be used by the mid player. Hassan just scaling with the AWP, and the rifle, Timo scaling with him.
Oh, Timo just walks out. Second kill lines up as well. Dalboni and Danico dead to rights. VSM can take one back and Cuts can get Luchov. That cuts the bomb carry off. I was about to say the round should be over from here at a 5-on-3, but now they could converge upon this bomb carrier. VSM's flanking. Cassin's leaning forward to the AWP. He needs to win the orb fight. Sees his shoulder, takes him down. The VSM's about to be the threat, and he takes that bomb with him. Cassim struggling. VSM suddenly is left alone, though, because Cuts got caught by that shot, and backup's here, but both players are low. Flashes and mollies. VSM trying to evade both of those pieces of util, and he's got time to work against. The bomb is in his domain. That HE will do some damage. Try even up those HP counters, but not by a massive margin here. VSM blind firing. Revealed, both line up for him. Beyond that smoke, he can clutch the round for Flamengo.
But just about. He got a little bit of help and assistance from time stalling out there from Bucket and towards the top of shelf. VSM needed that round. Flamengo needed that one. What a shame from Timo. That's a sick double entry. I mean, I don't know what Dinoko's looking at. Has he got his phone on his right-hand side or something? I mean, I don't know how he's not got this kill. That's just free. The man is looking out towards short from the first kill. Boy, oh boy. Those B-side anchors are so thankful that VSM ended up getting the final.
And talk about performance on the server. This man has just been the performer of the day. You're right, Flamengo thankful that they've got him in his corner today. Because without him, that round is a loss. BESTIA. Of their best case scenario, reduced to a 7-5 half, and that applies in both directions. VSM no longer a factor to their default. Been so B-centric for BESTIA. And that main threat is not there with them.
And Flamengo out on B have got a very defensive line just because they don't have a lot of players here. Timo, break into the smoke, clear out the cubby, clear out that first default angle. Long is open. He has just been beaming the first entries out on B.
Oh, and even Luchov landing one taps. Once again, you're in a 5v3, and on this occasion, you've got the B bomb site with the bomb plant, and no one separated to go losing trains back in lane. So Flamengo have got no way, and this time truly no way, of winning the round. So they're out of there, saving their weapons, what little of them they have. BESTIA are on their way back up to 6. We're gunning for number 7 as well. See what the economy state looks like for Flamengo, how much loss bonus they've got in tow, how much they've lost in terms of loss bonus off the back of the previous round win.
Well, the 950 from Delboni is going to help. Yeah, it's not going to be great because he's still got util to buy, but you can drop an M4, so you can get a pretty good buy out of this. VSM can drop MP9 armor for Cuts Moretz. And Flamengo, I think they'll just be disappointed because they were 4-1 up. And then from that point onwards, the only round that's being won is a VSM miracle. Let's be honest. I mean, that was a hero moment of a 4K, but it shouldn't have happened. Your double entry was out there on B. The bomb should have been able to cross and the round should have been over. So you haven't given yourself a lot of breathing room from the scoreline moving into the second half at all.
BESTIA. Guarantee they can't lose the half, but there's certainly enough to win it. Still up 7-5 at the turn of the Dust 2 opening half. One chance to make the same thing happen here on this second map. Their own pick of Ancient VSM. Akidona wins the first fight, sees that second man coming. Molotov's going to burn him. He's dead. Nothing he can do to stop it. That smoke was never going to bloom in time. 4v3, though, with ProShow's AWP shot on Noxy coming out of main. And that may change the complexion of the round overall.
They can start targeting Red Room instead. Now, Danoko can't do much here with the FAMAS. He can go 1-for-1, but as soon as they get the kill, they should just start accelerating.
Oh, straight shot from Timo. FAMAS are not even allowed any sort of picks back. Cassim moments away, pixels away from taking ProShow. That smoke bloom a little bit too quick, ProShow a little bit too slow. Molotov's ahead of that to ensure he doesn't start pushing forward as they make their way up towards that B bomb site. Cassim not sure where to look. Back towards red is a good call. Delboni gives himself up. ProShow getting on higher ground. Shadow will be seen though. That's enough for Cassin to lock on the man. And then for Master cuts Moretz. 1v3, he can drop the bomb carrier, but Cassin so fast to return back and take the shot that closes out a beautiful triple sequence. And another 7-5 half to the favor of BESTIA.
Hey Future Pros, mid on Ancient can be some vital real estate. So let's look at a donut smoke you can throw to help take some space. To throw this smoke, position yourself in the middle of this section of the window. Aim at the corner of this knobbly bit in the wood. Then simply throw the smoke. I class this as an Ancient essential you should know, so commit it to memory as it's a very easy lineup. Pair it up with the red smoke and you'll be cooking.
The road to the top is a riddle. What will be my destiny? Money and fame are awaiting, but not enough is raining on me. Maybe I should give it all up. How much more can I take? Out here singing to the heavens. When I gonna get my break? I can run this town. Oh.
Flamengo still dangerously close from being eliminated from the ESL Challenger League South America Cup #1. And BESTIA may be the team to do it. 7-5 up in the advantage, moving into the CT side of their map pick of Ancient. Flamengo have done all they can to hold on, but probably not enough here. Luchov is at least overwhelmed in the pistol round. Daniko will kickstart the situation. Timo has been great in his individual duel counts, but has not a lot of backup around him. Tomlinson does at least take one back from his lane flank, so maintains a 4 versus 4 at low HP though. He's gonna have to back off. Timo going to have to lunge forward to take his place. Bomb can rotate as well, and they're gonna have this information on BESTIA's path. Things made their way in towards Red. Nox, he's got BSM on the B bomb site. They walk right past the man, but Delboni checks that corner, and Noxy sees what's going on. 13 HP for the man, holds point blank, can't hold on forever. Cassin does take a play back out though, and Timo is overwhelmed by Delboni, leaving Cassin alone. 1v2 for the clutch.
What a check out there towards Red Room. That's done everything, because now for Cassin, it's a tough clutch. They try and fight together, but Delboni ends up tucking, and now he's been seen for Cassin to get the clutch overall. That round had everything. I thought Flamengo for sure were just going to end B with the double, well, the first entry, I should say. They get out there towards Cave, and the double players down there on the B doors with you till you're just expecting a full exec, a split up from ramp into Cave. They kind of cancel. They go into Red Room. They're pressurizing Spawn. You think there's maybe A split potential. They go back to B. Yeah, that round just kept changing almost after every kill had been made.
Cassin just savage on the one-taps as well. 14 frags for him. He's the impact individual of BESTIA, although the impact has been shared, admittedly. Had to pick one guy out. That round alone setting himself a cut above the rest. Flamengo did get the bomb plant though, so they're going to be buying in. AK and Galil, Tech9's on 2, Deagle on 1.
I know it's not quite the same buy, but remember what happened on Dust 2T side where VSM had the Hero AK and they had, what, just a few upgraded pistols around it, and he ended up going into that B bomb site and getting 3. They need to try and set him up. He needs to be a bit baitish in round 14 because they've got to get some muscle out of this AK. They've got to try and turn it into a round victory.
And there's one man to trust. It's the guy that dropped so much over the course of this series. Noxy, M4 right around that corner. Cassin that draws out the first kill will lose his lifeline, and that allows Noxy and Tomazin to combine off each other from Red and Donut. Both players will lose their lives, so it makes it expensive for BESTIA. But not as expensive as it's about to be for Flamengo. 27 HP for Delboni. He's about to lose his life sooner rather than later. Making sure that they've cleared out all their angles, and that's actually information for him to play with. It's just that HP difference that makes it so difficult, even against an MP9 here. And Luchov proves the point, gets the kill. There'll be no cash remaining for Flamengo now.
Oh, well, I've seen enough. This game is done. They can't even land a red room smoke. I mean, what's going on there? They're trying to scale out elbow, and there's players that are worried about red because of the smoke that just is missed. And you can't afford to have schoolboy errors like that. Flamengo, unfortunately, go into what is against the double donut setup and then another red setup with a breakage of the smoke. And Flamengo get nothing out of that force by rounds.
Eco upgrades with a little bit of utility in Kevlar on a couple of players. Mango want to try bursting this B bomb site, see if they can get a bomb plant out of it. Cassin's already landed VSM though. Counting U2 is thick and fast from BESTIA on the ramp smoke. The HGs and flashbangs also involved. They can put more smokes down if they so desire. Not many more though. Either way, VSM falling. You can't see much more from Flamengo in this one. Maybe if you get lucky to find an angle in towards the A site, but that requires his red player completely undefending the mid control. You just don't see that happening with a big team like BESTIA.
Perhaps it's similar to what happened on Dust 2, where chances are being created, but just not quite being taken to close out a map. Out there in the pistol, it's a 2v1 post plant. They lose the clutch to Kaysen. That's now rent-free in your head, because you've lost pistol, you've lost anti-force buy, you're now going to lose anti-eco, and you're running out of rounds to play with in this second half.
Danico doing all he can over towards this B bomb site, taking 1 kill and nearly a second with the dink down on Luchov, but losing his life, losing the bomb, and losing the round effectively cuts Moretz. Now be known towards the CT side. All he's doing is looking for exit damage, and not much of that's going to present, although again, credit to him for the dink on Tomazin. 4 alive for BESTIA, 10-5 on the board. A rebuy for Flamengo is due. But they'll need to make it successful, but this will be one of their last 2 chances to make something out of this map.
BESTIA will look at things and say, we've been tested across almost all points of this best of 3, but we are still going to get the 2-0 today. Anti-rush util out towards elbow, turning away from the flashes, but not being taken aggressively. Instead, it's a little bit of a counter. VSM take a lot of burn damage. Him and Cuts going down quite heavily.
More HE damage done towards VSM. Still Cuts as a drive-by dink off on the one man. Luchov low, Noxy going both low against Danico. Thomas in, pressured, sprayed up, and will get picked up in the end by Delboni. So trade game is pretty good for Flamengo here. 3-on-3 though, the bomb being dropped, and that's information the BESTIA should have in their favor. Cassin certainly not having the info on Delboni's extension into Donut. Walks right into the man. Still wins the fight on the second phase though. I don't know exactly how. But Cuts is at least able to restore order with a tray back on Timo. 2v2. And both CTs are separated. As a Flamengo for now, But Cuts is looking to meet Pro Show in at lane.
Luchov has struggled across this series individually, but this might be the round where he shows up completely. Alone on B and searching. He's getting aggressive in towards Cave and he's going to tuck himself. Cuts Moretz needs to get a perfect pre-aim.
And kills found 1 for 1. Drop that bomb. Pro Show's low HP. Molotov will drive Luchov back right here. You're going to assume the instant rotation. He may well do. And Pro Show is going to go for it. No, he's not. Back into the B bomb site. Luchov double bluffed. And it's a double bluff that may well work out for him. Protect that B site. The bomb goes down on A, then fine, whatever. But for me, I get it right now. He's turned away and he's been seen. Pro Show thinks that he's giving up the ghost. Instead, he plants safe and Luchov leans closer. Pro Show, one bullet will do it. Swings out. Burst fire from Luchov, missing his chance. He's now going to close that gap. Try and make Pro Show blink. Try and make him panic. The man holds his nerve. Only 3 kills deep in this map, and he will go no further in this round at least. 11 for Bestia. Flamengo can't catch a break in this second half. Cannot seem to get a single round on T side.
And it's always tough to single out individual players because, again, numbers can be misleading, right? If a player is being very aggressive and always being traded, then of course the kill count's going to be low. You can make different examples of excuses. However, we use numbers as a metric to give ourselves a baseline understanding of performance. And for Pro Show, he was 1-10 at one point on Dust 2, and he's 3-10 out here in the second map. He's your star AWPer. He's potentially your new 5th player. Potentially he's a player that's going to be getting kicked for somebody else. You can't be performing like this. This is not an adequate level to face a team like Bestia today.
I'm in agreement. Flamengo was going to have a tough time in this kind of best of 3 series. VSM doing all he can to claw his teammates out of this hole that they found themselves in, but even his numbers have dipped off compared to the last map. Not to take away all the impact he's given in this Ancient. Noxy and Luchov just making light work of the push forward. Pro Show does get a kill out on the rifle and a double up, so finally a decent sequence out of him that may well save the round. In a 2-on-2 ensues, but Timo has taken his backup. It's all Pro Show now. Needs a quadra in the round. Bombs on his back. Minute to play with. He hears that player at Donut, unawares of Cassin, but this is all just noise being made by Timo. The Cassin, they're closing the pincers. The AWP to land its kill. And for Bestia to claim at 12-5. Map and match point. Flamengo on elimination point. 7 to make up to overtime. And unfortunately, Dwayne, I just haven't seen enough on Ancient to call it possible.
No, I said it at the start of the best of 3 series. Flamengo are very dangerous in Tier 2 of South America. But as soon as they face the stronger teams in the region, they can't beat them. And it makes you ponder the idea that this 5 moving forward just isn't going to be strong enough. There's constant top 4s, top 8s, and CCTs. But once you start facing the Red Canids, the Onyx, the sides like Bestia, that's it. That's where your run just ends in every single tournament.
Damage done across the Flamengo board. Bestia, opening kill for Luchov. Delboni down, Cuts Moretz can get siphoned off from his teammates. Tomazin going to strike back from the Donut entrance. Cassin's also with his AWP shot from the exact same position. Danico's down. Pro Show and Cuts, the last 2 players that remain. And they have found no trades. They have found no access. They have found no map control. They have found nothing at all in round 18. And their demise is only a matter of time. Not a matter of if, but a matter of when. Luchov, I think, is a victim, at least 1 responsive, so they can go out with some sort of high note, but where do you go from here? You can't even move out of the corner that you find yourself trapped in.
And they're hoping that CTs get aggressive, which is happening. There's a lot of 1v1 duels being given up right now, and Timo might do the exact same thing towards bottom ramp.
He's tapping his way on Cuts. Pro Show got out of the ball's elbow, evaded that HE that was coming his way. Might re-aggressive though. Backstab's coming in from Tomazin. Cuts Moretz. Should actually just about dip his way forward. Incendiary will block him from being a threat to that B bomb site, to the central site defender that is there. Swing and spray. Timo gets his kill. It's all Pro Show now. Bomb frag of the board, of the server. The bomb on his back. And 3 kills to make happen with 25 HP. A P250 is good enough to cut him down, and Cassin can close out. 21 frags for him, becoming the new VSM of the BESTIA side. A 13-5 in a 2-0 series. They will eliminate Flamengo from the ESL Challenger League.
A good showing there from BESTIA today. I think they'll be satisfied with the performance. They got tested quite a bit on map 1, maybe more than what should have happened, and even at times they probably should have even lost out Dust 2. It probably should have been 0-1 down in the series going in towards Ancient, but look, they stand up strong, and moving into the series tomorrow against Fluxo, it will be a good rematch because they played them recently in CCT and they took a map off of them, couldn't win the series. They also played them in another best of 3 in Thunderpick, couldn't even take a map there. So a little bit of a rivalry that's one-sided, so a chance for BESTIA to get a one-up now in a lower bracket match.
I think the concern, though, is the fact that, as you mentioned, Dwayne, it is a one-sided rivalry there between those two teams. And so we were talking about the whole situation with these two squads, who they're going to take, or who they're going to move, whoever's going to move forward to face up against that team in the next round. Like, it's not going to be an easy affair. In fact, we didn't even have them. We kind of gave early predictions away that we thought that Fluxo were going to win that series regardless. And therefore, even with BESTIA taking this series right here and now, I can still see a similar result happening for them. Unfortunately, just as very similar to Flamengo sort of thing, when you take on those higher end tier 2 and tier 1 teams within the South American division, BESTIA just can't seem to hold themselves up at that level, unfortunately.
It's very true. I mean, the results make that sentiment quite easy to look at. However, at some point or another, that has to change, right? I think any team as an underdog or an overlooked squad will eventually be able to push on. It's just at what point does that happen? Is it the game tomorrow? Is it maybe a game in a few more tournaments' time? Is it even later on into the year? We don't know. For BESTIA, they'll like another crack. They'll like another challenge against Fluxo, but easily they're going to be the big underdogs. They're not going to be the favorites in that best of 3.
Oh, just to recap and close out the Flamengo run, our Kadir player to watch today was, of course, VSM, and you can see some of his stats and how well he performed here. And again, I have to sing his high praises, especially with how things worked up on the first map. Maybe less so on the second, but his impact was good enough to bring them close, but not quite close enough. And I think that that's a concerning thing for Flamengo, because as you said earlier, Dwayne, he's not exactly supposed to be the star in this team.
No, I mean, it was an entertaining game from him, for sure. I think, unfortunately, for VSM with the VAC ban quite early on in his career, probably halted a lot of Tier 1 opportunities in the South American scene. I think since then, I mean, he's probably too good for this lineup, but right now, with how good some of the South American teams are, why would you take a punt on a VSM? So you're probably in a cycle where you have to hope that Flamengo start doing well, because you're probably not going to have many other offers. You're not going to have many other teams that you can go to. So for that reason, you need to try and push on. You need to try and get as much out of everybody else and push this team higher up the VRS and make them a little bit more of a threat than what they are right now.
Well, sometimes you have to play the cards that you've been dealt, unfortunately. Sometimes you're dealt a stacked deck, so it's really not an easy thing to deal with at all. Unfortunately for Flamengo, their deck has run out. They have run out of opportunities here in the ESL Challenger League. They'll be eliminated from this cup, although they will have 2 or more opportunities because they'll be competing in Cup 2 and 3 over the course of the next couple of weeks. So looking forward to see whether they can try and improve their results going forward, but no promises. We'll see what happens there. That's it from us here in South America, and from myself and Jet Dwayne, of course, covering the European and South American action. But do rejoin us in a couple hours' time here, because we'll be moving on to the North American division, where Blue Jays will take on Marsborn here on ESL TV. So for the time being, thanks for watching, but we'll see you back here for North America a little bit later on this evening.
And we seize it. Haters, man, they got reasons. Grab the moment, we freeze it. Go to the touch, oh, what a rush. Follow your heart, homie, go where the love. Let it rain, let it flow, let it flood. Swimming in good vibrations. This is celebration, it's the liberation of everything we are. Every time you in the clouds, they gon' try to bring you down. Do not let them just go ahead and get it, get it, get it, get it. Every time you in the clouds, they gon' try to rise like a phoenix. Loving you is so easy. You caked up but not squeezing. We
ESL presents ESL Challenger League in partnership with Intel, Acer Predator, DHL, Qiddiya, and 1xBet.
I'll keep going till my feet become blown. I'll keep going till my feet become blown. I'll keep going till my feet become blown. I'll keep going till my I'll keep going till my I'll keep go till my feet become